Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. As you know, over the last couple of days, we've been doing a lot about puzzles. Yes, this will be the third video, but it'll be the final video. Basically, what I wanted to do was cast my own opinion on what I think was coming into the contest based on the question marks here. Now, as you know, this looks very different to my puzzle video on Sunday. That is because, as you know in that video, I said there is going to be a live stream to follow up. And we did. It was a fantastic 2-hour stream that was incredibly well supported by everybody. Thank you ever so much to my community and as well the Marvel Contest of Champions community that came out and also discussed these different question marks and who they could potentially be. A link to the live stream and how we ended up creating this can be found in the description below. Like I said, it was really fun to get people's opinions and also thought processes. It was also cool to kind of get that logical thinking and also illogical kabam thinking to the game lore and what champions we could actually really get into the game. That's one thing that you have to do. There were a few people that had some obscure type champions to put in, but we did try and benchmark between keeping people happy with their suggestions and also thinking logically and also getting that full community vibe. So great stream. Thank you very much again to everybody that turned up to it. But if you don't want to sit through a 2-hour stream, then let's recap in America the way we came to these decisions. Puns. Let's begin in the far left-hand corner. This one was all about one question mark, and that is the one nearest to Blade. Whether or not this was going to be a villain, was this going to be an ally? Lots of people were coming up with suggestions like Whistler, but we pretty much settled on the idea that this is either going to be Dracula, Deacon Frost, Nightmare, Morbius, those kind of characters, a villain or an ally. The slot below Guillotine is a mystery, or it could be pretty logical. Now, this could be a Kabam original. A lot of people were talking about the idea that this could be the ancient one, but the suggestions of Outlaw, White Fox, as well as Captain Britain or anything, or any champion part of like the European type Avengers, there were like these kind of comparison to them, but in Europe, it could be one of those. So yeah, I like the idea of White Fox and Outlaw based on some kind of comic book additions, but it could be, like I said, a Kabam original character. There are two question marks, one is directly below Howard the Duck and one that then is below that, which kind of sits on the outskirts, and then people have very different theories on this. I had a theory that it could be Mysterio, based on the fact that we don't really know what his intentions are in Spider-Man Far Away From Home. But it's very much divided on what this question mark could be. Something on the outskirts like Black Cat, also a different type of Spider-Verse or Spider suit could factor into this question mark. I'm still very much on the fence with this, but I will bend towards what the community do feel on the subject. Also, the one that's near Howard the Duck could be something committed to him, like Man Thing. Also, people will talk about the idea of Devil Dinosaur, Moon Boy, Moon Girl. Lots of different ideas were coming out the woodwork, but it is very much, it's quite difficult to pinpoint what these two are. Either direct association or very much Kabam left field or Kabam lore, Kabam logic that does kind of change up that way of thinking. Now it seems pretty obvious that the question mark that I've always said is Ronan has to be Ronan. I'm 95% sure we are getting that character in game. I know Gabe has also said in like a tweet to me that, hey, you're sort of right with this. You sort of got a few right. So I'm pretty much certain on this. But there's also the idea of like, what is to the right of Captain America World War II? That is indeed the big question mark. The community came up with the idea that it could be either Peggy Carter, it could be Dr. Zola, it could be White Tiger, it could even be some type of Bucky Barnes, but I'm kind of like going away from that idea as we got Winter Soldier into the game. We've also got the idea it could even be Baron Zemo. The kind of suggestions do go on with the link with this kind of World War II-esque type situation. So I think it is very much going to be that. As you know, personally, I thought it was Baron Zemo, but I do leave myself open to different suggestions. But just touching up finally, Dum Dum Dugan. We did talk about that, and I do like that idea that it could be one of his Howling Commandos, the Dum Dum Dugan. That would be great. Now we are in X-Men territory. This is the point that I actually love. I love the mutants, but we did kind of cross paths with what we were thinking of where characters were going to go in. Now, it's the point of going, what Kabam have put in their kind of, not spoilers, but they tease certain characters that could be put into here. I've talked about the idea of Apocalypse. I don't think that he would factor into this X-Men kind of gold area because it's just too much like of a wishy-washy area. And there's 3 question marks which things branch off, and I think they are connected in some sort of way. We came up with decent suggestions of like additions based on people's wants of certain characters, and some decent linking. But yeah, people want a desire of putting in a character like Quicksilver. Even me with making my mistake in maybe the puzzle video by going, I want Mystique. But there was a decent idea that came about that we could have Magic linking to Mikhail Rasputin, and then there was something that could link Magic to Legion and Legion to Charles Xavier. This kind of father-son link, Magic saving Legion. Yeah, I actually quite like that particular link, so some decent logic there. The question marks at the top, these seem pretty obvious, but they may not be what you think they are. We've gone for Korath the Pursuer, we've gone for Super Scroll, and we've also gone for Wonder Man. Now, there were loads of suggestions for this question mark that could be linking off from Kang, but it does seem like these would be good fits for this. But yeah, below is a bit of a bone of contention. I've got my own theories. I even said that it could be Kitty Pryde. There are a few other different options, including Nova. I think we're all pretty much sorted with Nova, but we would throw over the opportunity that it could be Marvel. We all pretty much agreed that it's going to be Karina next to the Collector. It's to the left. It's pretty obvious it's going to be Karina, but it's the others. There's two linking question marks, and this is something that does differ from everybody else's thought process against mine. My thought was that the two question marks would either be Silver Surfer or Galactus, though we're going to touch on those in a moment. The placement is very different, but we're looking at the idea that these could be elders of some kind of link in here. And I do have my theory about the way that Father Time has actually been watching over the contest since the start, but it could be a more powerful type of elder rather than obviously the Collector and the Grandmaster, which may be a kind of like beta level elders, where there's like alpha level elders. Anyway, I'm sure that it will be explained in time. But people also talking about the idea that Adam Warlock could be put in, and I'd love that, but I really would like it to more tie in with a third Guardians of the Galaxy film, but that's just a personal thought. I did have my thoughts and theories last time when I kind of touched upon this, and I have talked about in previous videos, the idea that Living Tribunal could actually factor into it based on the fact that this, as stories will go round circle, and you need more powerful entities in order to look over the contest. But also you weren't against the idea, thinking that, hey, what about the last couple of members of the Black Order? Yeah, so like Ebony Maw, Supergiant, Black Dwarf. I know there's 3, but there's going to be more popular ones that are actually in the movie that could be put in. So that would be nice to see, but I just don't think that does factor into it. I think Kabam have got a different idea. Two characters that may be away from the contest, away from groupings, but at the same time do play a factor in what is going to happen. Now in this section here, we've gone for spider villains. This is the point where, again, so many different suggestions there. I do have my own theories that Mysterio isn't actually going to be in these, but more than likely this will be a couple of different Spider-Man villains, probably finishing off the Sinister Six or maybe expanding on the Sinister Six. Lots of suggestions there: Scorpion, Lizard, Sandman, Shocker. Pick and choose with a villain, and I'm sure it's definitely going to be one of those. On to our final section. This is the point where people's thought processes are very different to mine, and I love it. I love the kind of the difference, the ideas, but people were very strong in thinking that this has got to be Galactus or even Doctor Doom being the main characters. Two very kind of like odd ends with this. Now how this will all come about, and as you know, in my puzzle video I was like, well, I'm thinking that this is more Apocalypse and then some Horsemen, and the way and how Galactus factors into it is going to be a bit different. I'm still very much thinking along those lines, but I do like the idea of thinking from the contest and the community as well, that we could go, right, well, let's go either Galactus, Doctor Doom, and branches off the characters like Tarax, like Annihilus, like the Beyonder, like the Watchers. Now how they will play a part in it, I don't think they would, but they would be kind of like watching and waiting and kind of doing something, but maybe with no kind of great involvement. Silver Surfer as well, people said about, and obviously we get Fantastic Four into this. We've had Diablo, then we've had the Thing, so the Thing kind of linking with their own kind of little stories there with those two. Would each type of Fantastic Four have their own little battles in any kind of way? So like a direct enemy or rival to Reed Richards, to Sue Storm, to the Human Torch. Would Human Torch come in with with Crystal? Would there be a kind of a linking with the Inhumans? The thing is, you don't really know how things are going to play about, but I do like the way of thinking of the logic. It'd be good to know whether or not Caban will release the idea of who is the big bad boss, because as soon as we've got that, we can then start changing the way that the puzzle forms and get some real decent clarity of logic on the bottom right hand corner. There we have it, everyone. That has been the puzzle done by the community. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button and subscribe for Marvel Contest of Champions based content. Also, when you're hitting the subscribe button, please put post notifications on. And subscribers, please check that your post notifications are on, because a lot of subscribers have said to me, hey, well, your my post notifications thing is not on, but it was on before. So please check that. Obviously, when I do live streams, it's nice for that to come up, or follow me on social media. I do let people know when I'm doing that. Join the Discord. Link is in the description below. If you want to become a member, please do by hitting the join button. I shall see you in another video. Bye-bye for now.